Breaking news! This is the kind of behind-the-scenes story that not only grabs attention, but also ignites a spark of genuine faith among fans who have been waiting for something different, something genuine. At a time when Minnesota sports fans are feeling the weight of disappointment, after yet another devastating loss to the Timberwolves and a broader sense of futility that has stretched back decades across all major teams, there is one name that refuses to fade away in the noise: J.J. McCarthy. But what's happening right now, behind the walls of OTAs at the TCO Performance Center, is much bigger than just another rookie quarterback getting reps. It's the mindset, the process, the obsession with greatness. These are the things that are quietly taking shape and forming the foundation of something that could finally break the cycle. Alec Lewis, in an insider report that's making the rounds fast, painted a vivid picture of McCarthy's daily grind. After each practice, while many players move on to recovery or disengagement, McCarthy rewatches every single throw, not once, but twice. First, during his treatment sessions, and again late at night with a more intense breakdown. This is not just a habit. This is a ritual, and it's not for show. When someone lives the sport like this, it's not hard to understand why coaches, players, and fans are already starting to believe they're witnessing the beginning of something rare. Kevin O'Connell, the head coach, didn't hold back when he talked about McCarthy's memory, attention to detail, and learning style. He revealed how surprised he was to see JJ recalling a piece of playbook installation from a brief session deep into last season, something many players would have completely forgotten. O'Connell described McCarthy's football intelligence as something you can't assume or take for granted. It has to be nurtured, guided, and challenged daily. That's why this duo, McCarthy and O'Connell, feels like it was meant to happen. Both are process-first guys. Both care deeply about the daily grind more than the box score. McCarthy himself acknowledged that the biggest growth from year 1 to year 2 is familiarity, his ability to recite play calls, anticipate player positions, and correct on the fly when something is off. And that's a significant leap, especially in a league that devours quarterbacks who can't adapt quickly. This isn't just physical progress. It's mental elevation. He's thinking faster, moving sharper, and already showing signs of becoming a field general. A moment that's been shared repeatedly across social media features McCarthy breaking the huddle with Justin Jefferson, T.J. Hockenson, Jordan Mason, Jordan Addison, and Josh Oliver around him. That image alone has fans talking about it like it's a premonition. People are calling it Zoom background worthy because of what it symbolizes, the future core already syncing up. But what really stands out is the psychological makeup of McCarthy. He's what Patrick Stemman called a football sicko, someone who breathes the sport every second of the day. This isn't about just reaching the NFL. It's about maximizing every ounce of potential. Whether McCarthy turns out to be a top 15, top 10, or even top 5 quarterback, the consensus from those watching closely is that he will absolutely hit his ceiling, whatever that ends up being. That kind of certainty, that kind of work ethic, that kind of hunger is contagious. And it's not just McCarthy who's generating buzz this offseason. Jalen Nailor is turning heads at OTAs in a completely different way, physically. He's bigger, faster, and rocking a new number 1 instead of number 83. He's also drawing an eyebrow-raising comparison to 49ers superstar Deebo Samuel. Alec Lewis, perhaps tongue-in-cheek, noted that when Nailor stepped onto the field, his frame and movement in the number 1 jersey gave off serious Deebo vibes. The internet took that and ran with it, and while it may be a stretch in pure NFL pedigree, it's not totally off base. Nailor's combined weight was about 205 to 210 pounds, just a few ticks below Deebo's 214. And while Nailor's 40-yard dash time wasn't blazing, clocked at 4.5 seconds, he showed big play ability last season with 6 touchdowns on just 28 catches, including several long scoring plays. If he can carve out a role that gives him space and favorable matchups, thanks to all the attention going to Jefferson, Addison, and Hockenson, Nailor could quietly be one of the breakout players of the year. And here's where it gets even more interesting. Jordan Addison could be facing a suspension to start the season. If that happens, Nailor steps up as the likely WR2 out of the gate, giving him a golden opportunity to showcase not just his explosiveness, but his ability to be a dependable playmaker in high-pressure snaps. If he capitalizes, this might not just be a breakout year, it could be a contract year. There's real speculation that if Nailor goes off for 600-plus yards and 6 to 7 touchdowns again, a team will toss him a big offer next offseason. Whether the Vikings match that or let him walk may depend entirely on how much they value Ty Felton, the rookie waiting in the wings. But no matter what happens, it's clear that the wide receiver group isn't short on talent, even with the Addison uncertainty. Between Naylor, Rondale Moore, and Ty Felton, the Vikings have the kind of depth that keeps defensive coordinators up at night. Now I want to hear from you. Are you as excited as I am about what's building in Minnesota? Is this the most hyped you've been heading into a Vikings season in years? Drop a Y for yes or an N for NO in the comments and let's talk about it. And while J.J. McCarthy is the engine of optimism and Jalen Naylor represents one of the most intriguing breakout candidates, the broader picture of the Minnesota Vikings roster tells an even more compelling story. It's about potential, yes, but it's also about urgency. There's a championship drought hanging over the entire state of Minnesota like a cloud, and Vikings fans are starting to wonder if this team, right now, has the pieces to finally blow it away. That pressure isn't lost on the coaching staff. Kevin O'Connell understands that development has to be deliberate, methodical, and relentless. His approach with McCarthy proves that. They're not taking shortcuts, and they're not chasing flash over substance. What we're seeing is the start of a system that believes greatness comes from stacking good days, not just hoping for explosive ones. It's why this QB-coach pairing is so exciting. They're in sync. They're both obsessed with the process. And that kind of alignment in vision and discipline is rare in today's NFL. Meanwhile, JJ's attention to detail is elevating the entire locker room. Veterans like T.J. Hockenson and Justin Jefferson are seeing the young quarterback's commitment and matching that intensity. That's the kind of cultural shift that transforms teams. When your rookie QB is one of the hardest workers in the building, everyone else levels up. And back to Naylor, there's something symbolic about him switching to the number 1 jersey. It's not just a new look, it's a statement. He knows what's at stake. He knows this could be his final year in purple and gold if he plays well enough to earn a big offer elsewhere. And that kind of motivation, playing for your future, can produce electric results. Add in the fact that the WR3 battle is wide open, and Naylor could cement himself not just as a temporary fill-in but as a foundational piece, even if it ends up being short-term. Every sign coming out of OTAs suggests that this roster is not only deep but mentally locked in. The hunger is there. The urgency is there. And maybe, just maybe, the missing piece, the quarterback who refuses to lose himself in the moment, is finally here. If you believe J.J. McCarthy is the real deal, if you think Jalen Naylor could be this year's breakout Viking, and if you feel like this team is ready to finally turn the page, go ahead, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and tell us in the comments, what do you think JJ's ceiling really is? Top 10? Top 5? Or something even bigger? Let's build this conversation together as the most passionate fan base in football. Let's go Vikes!